Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jenna here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some baby names that I really love but I'm not going to be using for this baby, or most likely won't be using. One of them we might. We haven't picked a name yet, so it's hard to say, and I don't want to say never and then have it be one of the names we use. But these are some names that I really love. I'm due in just a few weeks, and so hopefully we will have a name figured out by then. I think this is a really fun tag. I love watching and hearing from other people what names they love, and I really think that everyone is so different, and so it's always fun to see like what other people come up with. But this is the list of names that I've always loved. So let's start with girl names because I am having a girl, and like I said, we might end up using one of these, but I'm not sure. Kind of see when the baby gets here what feels right and what looks right and whatnot. So I did try to narrow it down, but for me it's always been easier to pick out girl names than boy names, especially when I had two boys. Like, it was so hard, and I would have like 100 girl names that I love, but like nothing was good enough for the boys. I don't know what it was, but girl names come a lot easier to me than boy names, so I'll just get into it. First girl name that I really love is Alejandra. And I'm not sure what I love about it, but if you've seen like my kids in some of the videos in the past, then you know they have like beautiful olive tone skin and dark eyes and dark hair, and I could just picture like my baby girl looking similar to her brothers, and Alejandra would be such a perfect name for her. I think you can like come up with cute nicknames like Ali, and so I would just really love it. I think it would flow well with our last name as well. So Alejandra is definitely a name I really love. I don't think my husband is quite on board with that one, so probably won't be using it. The next name on my list is Juliet, and these are not really in any order, but the next name on the list is Juliet. I really love that name. When I've told a few people I would like to name my daughter that, they kind of make fun like, oh, like Romeo and Juliet, but I don't care, you know. Like, I really love the name Juliet. I think it's so beautiful, and I'm obviously really drawn to these names, as you're gonna see. I'm really drawn to like this Juliet kind of sound as far as girl names. I think it's really beautiful. So that'll just bring me to my next one, is Juliana. I really love that name like so much. Like, I am 100% certain I'd be naming her Juliana, except that my sister-in-law's name is Juliana, so I don't want that to be like add confusion or anything like that when we're like all together for family things. In the long run, I know it wouldn't matter, but I do really love the name Juliana. If we go that direction, I wouldn't be surprised. And then again, like, I'm gonna just stay along those lines, Julia. I really love the name Julia. I think it's beautiful and feminine and strong, and that's, I think, what attracts me to that name. So almost the same name is Julianne, and I really like that name as well. Honestly, I think I'm like in love with any of these names so much so that if my husband said, yes, I like that, I'd be like, done. We're naming her that, you know what I mean? So I really like the name Julianne, Julia, Juliana. Anything like that, we really couldn't go wrong. A baby that I'm picturing having, I think those names would all work perfectly for her. But of course, I don't know what she's gonna look like until I have her, so that's hard to say. Okay, and then I have two more baby names for girls that I'm like 90% sure we're not gonna use, but I do really like them. And one is Farah. I think that is such a beautiful name. And again, like, I can just picture my baby looking like a Farah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess that's just how I don't know, if I can picture it, it's like, I like that name, you know? And then the last one is Jane. I've always liked that name. Like, I've always wanted to name my daughter Jane, and I think that it's just such a cute, like, classic baby name. I guess if you can tell, like, I pretty much like really classic names. Farrah maybe is not so classic, but I think of Farrah Fawcett, and maybe that's why I like it. I don't know. But those are my girl names. So I had 7 baby girl names. I think you're supposed to only do 5, but I like I said, I love baby girl names. Like, I just love everything baby girl, like, a lot. Like, I'm obsessed with having a girl. I'm really excited about this pregnancy. So I'll just get into my boy names, and I don't have as much, but the names I do have I genuinely really love, and so I want to share them with you anyways. Obviously my sons that I already have, those were my top choices of boy names, and so like I really love their names, and I'll share them with you because I love them. And if you're having a boy, I recommend you use these names. But my first is Jacob, and I love that name. And I first, like, people started calling him like Jake and Jakey and things, and I didn't like that. I wanted them to call him Jacob, but I mean, you can't really control it, and that's one thing you have to think about when you name your kids, is you you can't control what other people are really going to call your kids. Like, you just can't. But all of those names have grown on me. I love them all. So anyways, I really love the name Jacob. And then his middle name is Mateo, and that's been a name that's been on my list my whole life. Plus, it's kind of a family name on my husband's side. Really like to use family names. I feel like if you're having a child, you need to pass on a family name. Like, I don't think you can give them anything more precious than giving them a name of someone that you love. So that's like something that's really important to me. And so we always use family names when we have our children. So that brings us to my second boy, whose name is Noah. And that's actually never been a name on my list. But when we had him, I was like, we just knew he was Noah. That was his name. He's Noah. And so maybe that, I don't know if that name is like strange or not. To me, it's fine. It's like biblical and seems classic enough. But his middle name is Arturo, after his grandfather, and then he has two middle names. And his other middle name is Lee, after my mom. So those aren't names that I'm necessarily like, oh, I think those are the cutest baby names. But because they're family names, they're important to me. And so it was really important to me to pass them on to my children. And kind of knowing that that might be our last son, we wanted to make sure we got in all the names that we could. And so my baby girl might have two names too. We don't know what's going to happen yet. But anyways, let's move on to the rest of the boy names that I have not used yet. One boy name that I've always loved is Benjamin. I really love it. I think it's classic. I think it's strong. I think Benjamin is a handsome name. So I really love the name Benjamin for little boys. And I would have loved to name either of my sons Benjamin. But for some reason my husband wasn't feeling it. So I didn't fight it too much. And then I really love the name William. That's actually my brother's name and my grandfather's name, and I would love to name one of my sons William, but obviously we love the choices that we picked out for our sons. And then the next name, this was actually kind of one that we debated for Noah. We kind of went back and forth between this name and Noah, and it's Jonah, and I really like that name. Sometimes I wonder if we should have named him Jonah, because we have like all J's in our family. My husband is a J, I'm a J, Jacob's a J, and this daughter, if she's like a Julia, is gonna be a J. But Jonah might have worked better so he could be a J with all of us, but he's just a Noah. He's my Noah, so I'm not worrying about it. Like, his name is his name. And then the next name I have for a boy is Matthew, and I really love that name. I think that it's strong and handsome and classic, and I just love that so much, and I could have totally easily named one of my sons Matthew. And then the last one is another one that we chose. I mean, I would have named my son this, but I have a nephew with this name, and so again, for the confusion reasons, I know it's like not a big deal. We spend a lot of time with our family, and so to have like two of everyone would be really confusing. But I really love the name Josiah. That's another name that I think is just like really cool and really good for a boy, and I would have easily named one of my kids Josiah. So yeah, so those are the baby names I love. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know, because it's kind of different than most things I do. I'm really happy to share it with you guys because I am enjoying this pregnancy so much, and I'm enjoying all the details that have to do with being pregnant and sharing them with you guys. I am planning on making a video about the ugly truths of pregnancy and the things that, like, I don't know a better way to say it, the things I hate about being pregnant. So if you guys would enjoy a video like that, please let me know. And then make sure you subscribe so that you can follow along. Like I said, I'm literally having this baby in just a few weeks. And if I come early, then like that could be like tomorrow. So hopefully she stays in there a little longer. I am not quite ready and set up for her yet, but I am really excited for her to come and to pick a name for her. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.